Good evening. If you're a regular viewer to Midlands Today, you'll be familiar with this, Wally's Quarry in Staffordshire. Families near the site have been living with the effects of hydrogen sulphide for more than 2.5 years, and it's still going on. It was back in April. Well, as Liz mentioned in her report at a judicial review at the High Court in August, the judge said real and significant change was required as a matter of urgency. The Environment Agency is responsible for ensuring the quarry operator reduces the level of gases. I asked their area director, Claire Dinnis, whether changes were happening quickly enough. Well, let's get more on this with our science correspondent, David Gregory Kumar. Let's just pick up on that last point that Joan raised there. Can we see the impact of COVID in schools on wider infection rates?
Yes, that's probably protecting kids going back to school in Birmingham to an extent. And so that's what happens, and that's why we're seeing such very different situations. What will turn it around there in Rugby is mask wearing. We'll keep an eye on those plots over the next week or so and see what happens.
Fascinating. Thank you for unravelling that spaghetti. Thanks, David. Now, long-term plans are being considered to close Birmingham's A38. Now, last night's heavy rain was a reminder, if they needed it, to residents and business owners in flood risk areas across the region to prepare for the worst. Siobhan Connor's house in Shrewsbury has flooded 16 times in the last 20 years, causing complete devastation. She's now invested thousands of pounds to install her own flood barriers ahead of this winter. Laura May McMullen reports. It's a controversial science, but a Shropshire lab has produced a clone of a champion show-jumping horse. Arco III was the mount of Nick Skelton at the Olympics in 2004, and the horse died last year. However, his owner was determined that a little bit of him should live on, as Rebecca Wood reports. A little taste of what's to come at the Commonwealth Games next year, but hopefully better weather. Right, last year we brought you the story of Vinnie Motta, a talented visually impaired musician from Brazil who'd just begun studying at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. Now, Vinnie's first year was a big success, but he's facing a battle to find the funds to complete his tuition, which as an international student is more than twice that of someone from the UK. Ben Sidwell reports. Beautiful. Right, let's move on to the weather. Hands up who had a really disturbed night last night, thanks to the rain. Yes, Shefali is with us. It was pretty lively, Chef. Is it going to calm down a bit?
It is indeed, yes, but I found it quite exciting.
Did
now
you?
You know where I get my kicks from. Yes, it was wonderful. The rain to the temperatures highs of 21 Celsius.
Very nice. Lovely sunny picture of Webley, by the way.
Yeah.
Clearly has its own microclimate. That's all from us. I'll be back with your late news just before 10:30. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.